Storm look to protect home court and take a commanding 2-0 edge. Elena Delle Donne and the Washington Mystics hope with the impressive rookie Ariel Atkins, Latoya Sanders, and the former MVP Elena Delle Donne lead the front court. Their head coach Mike Thibault. For Seattle, Alicia Clark and Sanders to jump it up. And Seattle wins the tip as Tolliver immediately applies pressure to Bird. Remember the Storm starting lineup, shot it at least 50% in game one, and Stewart off to a good start in game two.
First play of the game for Seattle, a little curl screen to get Breanna Stewart a touch inside the paint where she's so deadly.
Here is Tolliver, who is frigid in game one, gets the roll on her first look of game two.
I love it. She was cold shooting the basketball, so not only to get her a touch, Ryan, but get her one a couple feet from the basket.
Early foul on Natasha Cloud. It'll stay down here with Seattle.
Just a little rub screen inside. Big little Sue Bird on it, so it can't be switched. And Breanna Stewart, when she has both feet in the paint, forget about it.
Dan Hughes was very happy with how his team used defense to flow into offense in game one as Howard flips it in. Meanwhile, Mike Thibault telling us there was one big thing to correct on the defensive end and one on the offensive end. Defense, he felt like they were a step slow on everything. Offensively, he just felt like the ball got stuck. Delle Donne finds Tolliver off on a three in the corner. Sanders keeps it alive. Delle Donne open and off on a free throw attempt, essentially. Atkins can't finish. Sanders bats it out of bounds, but it'll stay. No. It'll be Seattle basketball.
But immediately a difference from game one to game two is the energy level for the Washington Mystics. 4 opportunities on the offensive glass by 4 different players. Much better start.
Clark run off the line, gets into the lane, seeking help now, and threw it away. Delle Donne working hard, is double. Passes out of it to Tolliver, quick first step, and the floater is off. Stewart got a running start, lays it in, but the foul on the floor before the bucket will go against Latoya Sanders. The Seattle Storm certainly dominated game one of this series. A plus 18 in points in the paint. They had an 18-0 edge in fast break points, and every starter shooting at 50% or better.
And even the last time down, the foul while Breanna Stewart was handling the basketball, you see her there with the mid-range jumper. Came because of a miss by the Washington Mystics on one end. Teams who like to run will run off misses as well.
Sue Bird will take the foul on the floor against Cloud. Her first personal. Bird playing in her 3rd WNBA Finals.
Second with a mask.
That's right. Now they're going to call that foul in the act of shooting. Bird thought it was on the floor, and that's why she went to take it. Second straight game she's had that happen to her, as Cloud will go to the line.
Because veterans, they don't want to give up easy layups because they know how important every possession is. So they will take a foul if they think it's going to prevent that. But of course, this one leads to a couple free throws.
And Cloud hits them both. Natasha Cloud shot at a career high 44% from the floor, 39% from 3 this year. Here's Stewart again, getting the step, then floating it in. The MVP off to a strong start. Cloud working around the screen from Sanders. Here's Atkins, the rookie at 23 in game one, and gets the whistle here.
We saw this early in game one from Washington as well, and that's getting to the free throw line. The best free throw shooting team in the league on the season, looking to be active. And Ryan, keep an eye on this. If Atkins hits both free throws, when Seattle has been inbounding the basketball, Washington is using 2 players to deny Sue Bird. They want someone else other than Bird bringing the ball up the floor, making the decisions.
Meanwhile, Ariel Atkins, the impressive rookie who Mike Thibault just glowed to us about today, Holly.
That's right. He said Tamika Catchings actually told him, and Tina Thompson even said to him, she reminds me in personality and competitive spirit of one of the all-time greats, Tamika Catchings. She has been so dominant, much more dominant than she was in college at Texas. She said, I've quit worrying about feeding all the rest of my teammates. The veterans on this team tell me, go get yours, and that's what she's been doing.
Yeah, and what a compliment from Tina Thompson, comparing that focus, that grit to Tamika Catchings. And to Holly's point, Mike Tebow said, yeah, I see it just with the intensity she brings every day.
Tamika Catchings in a guard's body, about the best compliment a guard can get.
Yeah. Tolliver working hard to get open. Atkins off one leg, rattles it in.
You know how hard that is? I mean, to come off one leg, fading with the defender right on you, what a play.
Bird quickly into the front court, missed it short, thought she got hit, no whistle. Here comes Tolliver. Washington led for just 36 seconds of game one. Tolliver gives them the lead here as she banks it in.
Washington needed this start for their confidence and a lot of reasons. After the way they were handled in game one, Washington needed this kind of start.
A 9-8 beginning, Mystics in front. Bird tees it up and knocks it down from three. Sue Bird, third in the WNBA this season in three-point shooting percentage at 45%, a career high. Cloud likes the matchup. Elevates, can't hit, Stewart the rebound. Stewart will take it up herself. Being ridden by Sanders. Stewart all the way in, got the whistle. And that'll be number 2 on Latoya Sanders.
Brianna Stewart at 6'4", has guard skills and can handle as well as any big player, taking it inside. And Latoya Sanders is important to this Washington team. Her ability to defend the mobile players for the Seattle perimeter.
Shop WNBAstore.com now to represent the Seattle Storm and the Washington Mystics during the WNBA Finals. Choose from jerseys, t-shirts, accessories, and more. WNBAstore.com, one store every team.
It's been a couple weeks we've been doing this promo, and I think they still don't have fanny packs. We got to get on that.
I don't know how quickly they can be produced.
I know. Figure it out.
Stewart hits both free throws. 8 points for the MVP so far in the first quarter of game 2. Deladon working the block, the footwork, and the finish for Elena Deladon. Her first bucket of the game.
Double did not come, and she did a great job recognizing that.
Lloyd missed it badly. Rebound Atkins. Jewel Lloyd had a sparkling game 1, 23 points. Hawkins, the ball fake, the take, couldn't finish. Looked like there might have been some contact, or she lost her footing. Bird pushing the no-look to Clark for 2. A gorgeous dime from the 11-time All-Star Bird. Good hands by Stewart. And the shot clock wilts to 5 as we have a timeout on the floor. 15-11, Seattle in front.
Sue Bird, one of the best the game has ever seen from the point guard spot. Look one way, throw the other. We see a Sue Bird.
Well, Jewel Lloyd in game 1, 9 of 12 from the floor, 23 points. Did a tremendous job bouncing back after she'd been quiet at the end of the semifinals. Stormed in for the rebound there.
Immediately attacking Sue Bird, knowing that she has 1 foul already in this game.
Lloyd gives it up. Howard, the extra feed. Good hands by Atkins to poke it away for Washington. Atkins, the rookie, second team all defense this year. Her jumper is short. And that one will tilt out of bounds to Seattle.
Mike Tebow looking at his team, saying settle. settle. You know, they want to run when it benefits them, but you've got to be careful not to get caught in Seattle's pace because they are so good when it's a frantic, fast game.
Stewart. Oh, she's on. A smooth beginning for Brianna Stewart. 10 points in the first 6 minutes. It's a 9-2 Seattle run. Deladon switched on Bird. Elevates, can't bank it in, and Howard comes back for the board. Bird looking up. Deladon guarding Bird. Lloyd had it poked out of bounds. It'll stay here.
Brianna Stewart, the one place she struggled a bit in game one was making her mid-range shots. And here's another mid-range one that she's draining. She hasn't missed from anywhere so far tonight, Ryan.
She didn't have her first field goal till 4:39 left in the first half of game one. She already has 4 so far today. Clark always doing the little things for Seattle. Clark probing. Stewart, the crossover, elevates, got hit, and Brianna Stewart will shoot a pair. Brianna Stewart, the MVP, will shoot a pair. It's been a big year for her, Holly.
Well, you know, if you consider that just days before this season started, she spoke publicly for the first time on camera about becoming a sexual assault survivor. She's been very open about her journey as a young child being abused, and to come into this season with that on her shoulders and all of the response to her going public. She said, I've had people stop me on the street and say, thank you for saving my life, that we know someone like you has gotten through this. We too can get through this, and then goes out on the court and has an MVP season. What this woman has shouldered this season has been nothing short of miraculous.
And has really flourished on the court here in her 3rd season after being the most decorated player in women's college basketball history. 4 times the most outstanding player at the Final Four, as Tolliver finally was able to wiggle her way into a foul on Howard after a strong defensive possession.
Chrissy Tolliver is a veteran. She knows if you can get the defender leaning into your space, that's a foul. The defender can leave their feet, they can go straight up and down, but if their trajectory is at all towards the shooter, it's going to be a foul on the defender.
Tolliver, the one member of the Washington Mystics who has won a championship in this league 2 years ago with the LA Sparks. She has a penchant for hitting big shots and bouncing back after tough performances like the one she had in game 1. She goes 1 for 2 from the line here. 5 points thus far for Tolliver. Stewart wants it. Stewart on the move, raises up. Can't finish, trying to follow it up. It hits her. Washington ball. First missed field goal of the game for Stewart.
We're seeing a lot offensively from Seattle, setting screens for Brianna Stewart off the ball. A little player setting screen for the big player and seeing how the defender's going to handle it.
Tolliver trapped in the corner, able to get out of it and find Atkins for the leg.
Ariel Atkins' activity off the ball continues to be terrific.
Howard steps into a 3, missed it short. Clark fights for the offensive rebound. Bird whips it to the corner for Stewart. Off on a 3, another offensive rebound. Howard tipped it to Lloyd. Howard fighting against Atkins in the post. Stewart on the move. Clark connects on a 3 after a persistent possession from the Storm. Seattle #1 in the WNBA in 3-point makes per game and 3-point percentage this season. Ruffin Pratt can't hit. Here is Bird. Bird's jumper is good. And Seattle has its largest lead. It's 9. Atkins just got it into the fingertips of Ruffin Pratt. Hawkins was fouled by Bird, and that's a big one. Second personal on Sue Bird. Sue Bird, the right player to have mic'd up because she's constantly huddling up the Seattle Storm. She is the veteran on this squad and the on-floor voice for this team.
And her message, defense and rebounding, understanding that's what fuels their offensive game. How about the defense by Ariel Atkins?
Atkins muscles in, can't finish, follows it up, and a jump ball with Atkins and Langhorne. And you can see Mike Tebow thought it should have been a foul on Atkins' take to the rim.
I am so impressed at how this rookie is just reaching up to grab the moment. She is not hesitating at all, active on both ends of the floor. There's no fear in Ariel Atkins in her first WNBA Finals.
Well, Mike Tebow told us before the game today, he said she has a chance to be a star in this league. Mike Tebow's about as good as any coach in the history of this league at evaluating talent.
This could be her coming out party. I mean, if she continues to play the way we've seen so far in these finals, this could be her coming out party.
Nice look. Tolliver finds Hawkins for the lay inside. Keep in mind, too, Washington eventually will get Emma Miesemann back to join Atkins and the rest of this Mystics core. Their talented former All-Star, part of the Belgian national team and not playing this season. And yet Washington still able to punch their ticket to the finals. Foul against Washington sends Whitcomb to the line. Sammy Whitcomb hits the first. Taking a look at the remainder of the WNBA Finals schedule. Wednesday, it's Game 3 as the series shifts to D.C., 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. A Game 4 would be Friday in Washington, and a Game 5 would be Sunday, September 16th, a week from today, back here in Seattle.
Washington just trying to see if they can steal one on the road here.
Seattle, an 11-4 edge on the glass in this first quarter. Just a slight difference between the game and the shot clock. Tolliver nearly threw it away. Atkins collects, takes, can't hit. Howard the rebound, and Howard short on the heave. That'll do it for the first half.
In Game 2 of taking care of the basketball where they continue to struggle defensively. Seattle shooting 56%. They shot 55 in Game 1.
At three, doesn't wedge in. Stewart the rebound.
The shots on this end a little more difficult for Seattle, but they've been able to convert most of them.
That's going to be a foul against Tolliver, who seemed a little more intent on boxing out Clark than she did going after the basketball, and eventually got flagged for it. First personal on Tolliver. It's Langhorne, Clark, Sammy Whitcomb, Brianna Stewart, and Jordan Canada, the 5 for Seattle. Aisha Hines-Allen, Kiana Hawkins, Ariel Atkins, Christy Tolliver, and Tiara Ruffin-Pratt, the 5 for Washington. 8 to shoot now for the Storm. Washington just 4-17 all-time playing at Seattle. That includes a Game 1 win in decisive fashion for the Storm. Here is Whitcomb, connecting on a 3.
And this is what makes Seattle so dangerous. Washington completely bottled up Brianna Stewart on that play, and so Whitcomb, a bench player, just comes in and drains a deep 3.
Whitcomb has been a huge part of Seattle's success in these playoffs. Played a critical role in Game 5, the decisive win against Phoenix. Aisha Hines-Allen curls it in.
Continues to play well. She had a nice performance in Game 1, brings a toughness and an attack mentality.
Player who Mike Tebow's very excited about the future for, 19th pick of this year's draft. Langhorne, the veteran, working the footwork, getting the whistle, and Crystal Langhorne's going to shoot a pair.
Under out of bounds plays are very important, and defensively Washington knows. Look how many players they have around Brianna Stewart. They know Seattle wants to get her the ball. Okay, so what's our number 2 option? Whitcomb, who's been an absolute dagger maker from threes here in the playoffs.
Well, what's remarkable about Sammy Whitcomb, back in 2010, she played right here at Washington, led her team in points and rebounds, but was undrafted. Cut by Chicago in training camp. She actually became the Washington video coordinator, wasn't even playing basketball. but then she decided she loved the game too much, tried again overseas at Germany, Slovakia, find a home in Perth, Australia in the WNBL, where she led them in scoring 652 points 2 years ago. She got on the Storm roster last year, and she has not given up that spot. She's been crucial for them in the playoffs.
It's an amazing story, Ali. 5 years she spent in Australia. 4-time All-Star there, 3-time scoring champ before getting it done now here at the WNBA level, as that's going to stay down this end with Washington.
And a fan favorite here for the fans. She comes in and drains those threes. Probably the quickest release any of us have seen in the WNBA.
Sue Bird told us, quickest release she has ever seen.
Saying something coming from the oldest player in the league, right?
That's right. Who's rocking the granny kicks today?
That's right.
That's right. Sue Bird rocking custom kicks today. You see him with the granny from Tweety Bird on him. Now, she always rocks her Kyrie's. Her and Kyrie Irving very close. But today she got Kickstradamus, who's an outstanding custom sneaker designer, to get her something to represent her being the oldest player in the league. That's what he came up with.
I love that she embraces that fact.
Delle Donne, great look inside, and Hines Allen lays it in.
And you heard Holly talk at the beginning of the telecast that Elena Delle Donne feels as good as she's felt since the injury, and one way you can see that is her willingness to attack the basket off the dribble.
She looks a little more spry.
Yes.
Langhorne double, good hands there from Washington. Ruffin, Pratt, and Hines Allen combining for the jump.
You know, the biggest thing with her injury is not having the same lift. Well, here, you see this attack mentality. She feels strong enough, quick enough to try to go by the defender. We had not seen that very much in game one.
Jewel Lloyd checks back in for Wickham. Out there with the rookie Jordan Canada, Crystal Langhorne, Alicia Clark, and Brianna Stewart.
Jewel Lloyd, the story offensively in game one, been quiet here so far.
Canada dives in, missed it badly, follows it up, puts it home. Here's Aerial Powers slicing to the rim. And then Powers steals the inbound and hits. 4 straight from Aerial Powers. Providing a little burst off the bench for the Mystics. Canada turns the corner and missed the lay. 5-on-4 opportunity for Washington. Now Canada darts back into the screen. Powers, the ball fake. Stewart all over her. And at last hit, Washington. Seattle ball. As Sue Bird will check back in for Seattle along with Natasha Howard. Let's take a look at what Sue Bird has been able to do thus far.
Sue Bird is the leader of this Seattle team, and she can just orchestrate what she wants to have happen on the offensive end. Sometimes it's her own shot, many times it's for her teammates, and continues to be brilliant as the oldest player in the league.
Powers called for the foul inside, working on Clark. That'll be the 3rd team foul against Washington. That turnover moments ago, the first of the game against the Mystics. Bird off. Howard able to hang long enough to keep it alive. Powers, nice job jumping in front.
Powers has been spectacular off the bench so far. Her energy.
Providing nice life for Washington. Good movement here. Ruffin Pratt tees it up. Can't knock it down, and a foul underneath. Hines Allen working hard on the offensive glass. And the loose ball foul called against Seattle.
Last year, the Washington bench dubbed themselves the bench mob, and this bench mob was impressive in game one, and they've given them a lift here again in game two.
Delle Donne working Howard, fading away, able to hit. Difficult look from Elena Delle Donne. It's a 5-point game. Seattle's led by as many as 12. Big screen from Howard, Lloyd couldn't finish. Powers a little slow to get up.
You have to call that a foul. She had her elbows moving too. I mean, that is a dangerous play.
Tolliver sneaks it inside. Delle Donne doesn't get the roll. Howard the rebound. And the push to Bird. 4-on-2 developing. Stewart the catch. Can't finish. Clark. Good movement here to Bird. Short on a three. Another offensive rebound. No. It goes out of bounds off of Seattle. Timeout on the floor. Elena Delle Donne getting it going for Washington. A little more in the legs in this game, too. It's a difficult shot for most, but not for the former MVP. It's a 5-point game.
She wanted to be closer to home, Delaware, where her family and her beloved sister Lizzie is. But, you know, it's something that we've seen with LeBron James. When LeBron James comes to your team, whether it's Miami or Cleveland, you go to the finals. Elena has had that impact in the WNBA. She took Chicago to their first finals. She's now taken this Washington franchise to their first finals. Now she just has to win one.
And she also is really TV savvy and knows you have to hit the shot when the report is being done about you.
I appreciate her very much. I think that's an assist to Holly Rowe.
She has shown coming back from this bone bruise to participate and help will her team to this position has been admirable.
Stewart to the hook, can't get it to go. Howard, another offensive rebound. 7 boards for Howard. Stewart fouled by Tolliver. They're going to call an offensive foul. For Breanna Stewart, her first.
Stewie's been really good off the dribble here today, and Tolliver, I think that's fair. Christy Tolliver gets to the spot, legal guarding position.
First personal on Stewart, 7th turnover for Seattle. Delle Donne is hit by Howard. That'll be the 2nd personal on Howard, and now Elena Delle Donne a chance to make this a 1-point game.
Mike Thibault told us we need to take better advantage of Seattle's defense, especially off of ball screens and off of double teams. And that time, the extra pass after the retreat dribble from Ruffin Pratt was right on the money.
Delle Donne, who has not missed a free throw in these playoffs.
Push, baseline, pin down, running.
She is now 26 of 26. Hits them both. The all-time leader in WNBA history in free throw percentage. It's a 10-0 Washington run. Bird catches the high pass. Nice find to Howard, who lays it in. Dan Hughes telling us before the game, it's like Bird and Howard were just born to play together. Powers takes, can't hit the three. Hines Allen works the glass, so does Howard, who is out of bounds.
Hines Allen, great job using her hind quarters to box out and get that board. And you'll see here, as soon as Natasha Howard gets a little piece of the defender, she is so explosive going to the rim. She's as good as anyone at finishing in pick and roll situations, and Sue Bird is better than anyone at delivering it.
Timeout on the floor, 3-point lead for Seattle, and it's put forth a much better effort here in game 2 after getting dominated in game 1 of these best-of-5 finals. Delle Donne leading the Mystics to the finals in just her 2nd year with the franchise, after taking Chicago to the finals back in 2014. Delle Donne gets a step and lays it in. 10 points for Elena Delle Donne. She's the first member of Washington in double figures today.
Great patience by Atkins off that pick and roll to wait the right amount of time to get the double team to commit and pass to Delle Donne.
Lloyd, the quick turn. Her shot has not been there so far in this game. Jewel Lloyd is 0 of 4 after shooting so well in game 1. Delle Donne is the last 8 for Washington. Good hands by Stewart, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Mystics.
Panda, you have it out. Zipper it up, TRP, twirl it over the top. Here we go. Twirl. Panda, you got it out. Panda, you got it out.
Panda, of course, is Christy Tolliver, her affectionate nickname from her teammates.
Mm-hmm. Five to shoot. Delle Donne raises up. Can't hit. Stewart, the box out. Stewart has missed her last 4 shots after hitting her first 4. Howard gets inside and squeezes it in. 6 points, 8 rebounds for Natasha Howard. Tolliver, the quick trigger and the connection.
Watch out, we did not see her make a tough contested shot in game 1. She is dangerous when she starts to get on fire.
Stewart working on Hines Allen. And they're going to call that an offensive foul on Brianna Stewart, as Hines Allen really sold that one.
Hines Allen has done an outstanding job in her minutes so far in this game on both ends of the floor. Yeah, big time embellishment by Maisha Hines Allen.
I mean, that is a superb flop job.
There was contact, so it's embellishment. For it to be a flop, there's no contact.
Okay,
right? Let's make sure we have our lingo right.
Deladon can't finish. And a foul over the back on the other end of Hines Allen as Lloyd tilts to the deck. Washington over the limit, so free throws for Seattle. Been much more of a slowed down game so far in game 2, which plays to the advantage of Washington. Even though they play fast, Seattle plays faster.
Washington has not been put in the position of being on their heels, getting back in transition, and I think that benefits too a player like Maisha Hines Allen, because she can be really effective if she's not in that quick up and down game.
Jewel Lloyd is just off right now, and we've seen that throughout these playoffs, where she can look like a dynamic all-star or just ice cold. Right now it's one of those cold days. She has not scored yet. Ruffin Pratt can't put it in. Goes off of Bird, stays with Washington. Hines Allen is going to get called. No, it's Clark who gets called for the blocking foul. And things are getting physical in Seattle.
I'll say this, it's been a consistent call at both ends of the floor.
Ruffin Pratt gives it up. Atkins jumper rattles out. Washington still unable to take that lead. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Deflected by Tolliver. Here is Bird. Bird takes. Can't hit. Lloyd and Howard both there. Knocked out of bounds off Seattle.
And Ryan, I want to say this about Jewel Lloyd. We've talked about how she's had some good games and then games where she's struggled. It usually goes game to game. We have not seen her start out struggling and then turn it around later in the game.
Washington has had 4 chances to take the lead. Will they do it here? No. Maybe Deladon can. She does! Elena Deladon gives Washington their first lead since it was 9-8. Lloyd can't scoop it in, does get fouled, and Jewel Lloyd will go to the stripe.
Elena Deladon affecting things on this end of the floor. The offensive board, the finish, such a tough shot. And Mike Thibault told us one way you can try to play and not be double teamed is get to the offensive glass where you have single coverage. That wasn't the case there. She still had triple coverage and converted.
And it's obviously a more effective Elena Deladon so far, as Lloyd, she might be in her own head. That's 3 straight free throws she's missed. Hey, stay tuned for the WNBA halftime report presented by State Farm. See the crowd trying to encourage Lloyd a bit, who is an 85% free throw shooter this year. Finally gets one to drop. Tie game at 36. Seattle a 1-0 lead in these best-of-5 finals as Stewart pokes it out of bounds. And Mike Thibault's going to take a timeout. 1:09 to go in this second quarter. Washington has erased a 12-point deficit to tie this game at 36.
Offensively too in this second quarter. They have not let Seattle get to the offensive glass nearly as much as they did in the first quarter.
They've held Seattle to 11 points in this second. Deladon herself has 10 in the quarter. Deladon can't flip it in. Bird fighting for the rebound, and it lasted Washington. It'll stay with Seattle.
Len Deladon looked like her leg got a little stuck there, didn't it?
Looked like it could have been a whistle. Washington has turned it over just once in this first half. Clark thought about it. 8 to shoot. Stewart has been quiet after a fast start. Bird with 3 to shoot. Bird blocked by Ruffin Pratt. Washington all alone as Tolliver lays it in. The defense of the Washington Mystics has surged them back into game 2. Bird's jumper is off. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Seattle. It'll be Washington basketball. And Sue Bird just 2 of 8 from the floor in this first half. Seven seconds left in the half. Deladon to Ruffin Pratt, wide open. Hines Allen lays it in. Stewart heaves it, and that will do it for the first half. An outstanding finish to the 28 points right now in the paint. They had 32 total for all game 1. Crowd on its feet, they will stand until Seattle's first bucket. Ariel Atkins can't finish to avoid the rebound. Here comes Bird, who did not shoot it well in the first half. But as we saw in game 5 of the semifinals against Phoenix, can get it going at any moment. As Lloyd hits the jumper, and that is a good sign for the Storm.
Lloyd on the offensive end of the floor is vital to the Seattle Storm. Very different from an offensive player. She can start to make those mid-range J's.
She was 0 for 4 from the floor in the first half. It was just 1 of 4 from the line. Deladon burrows in, can't bank it home. Howard claws the rebound. Bird sees Clark. Pass deflected out of bounds. Good hands from Natasha Cloud. It'll stay with Seattle.
Same foul calls that they do.
I think they are. I think the
We got
referees.
calls for the same thing on Ariel Atkins down there.
I think the referees have been pretty consistent in this game, especially in the block charge.
Lloyd off on that 3. Rebound gathered by Sanders. Two of these best-of-5 finals. Seattle a 1-0 series lead. Tolliver got it caught on her hip and still was able to scoop it in. Tolliver with 11 points now. Lloyd cutting through the D and got the foul. Jewel Lloyd will shoot a pair.
Oh no! She passed the ball!
Shoot it!
She passed the ball! She passed the ball! Guys! She passed the basketball!
Hell no!
Clearly, 2-hand pass.
It's a different chorus, but a similar song that Christy Tolliver and Mike Tebow are singing right now.
It's harmony.
So Lloyd to the line, hits the first. You can see Lloyd obviously insistent on trying to start this half in an aggressive manner.
And is that Jewel Lloyd or is that Dan Hughes knowing, let's run some things to get her going aggressively to the basket?
Dan Hughes has done such a nice job with this Storm team. A lot of the same personnel as they had last year, yet 11 more wins in the regular season. A couple key additions, his decision to draft Jordan Canada, as well as bringing Natasha Howard. And this group has flourished to a #1 seed and now a 1-0 lead in these finals. Cloud cutting through the D, couldn't finish. Howard able to fingertip the rebound. That's her 10th. Lloyd, run off the line, will lay it in. Jewel Lloyd with a strong start. And this game is tied. Nate Robinson fired up. momentum. Lloyd gives it up. Clark, you bet! On a three, Seattle takes the lead.
On average, coming in second only to Simone Augustus in 2006. She's amazing.
What's also been amazing is the growth we've seen in the league this year. I feel like it's at the best it's ever been. What do you think?
You know what? I could not agree with you more. We are looking at merchandise sales being up. We are looking at league pass being up. We are looking at all of our key performance indicators being really strong. Look at this crowd today. Thinking about the finals, it's been a phenomenal semifinal series as well as finals. Basketball at its very best, Holly.
I know our ESPN ratings were up almost 48% in the regular season, so it is growing. The finals and the playoffs have been at an all-time high. Those 2 Game 5s were so great. What do you anticipate moving forward in this matchup?
Well, I anticipate the same thing. We saw Seattle really take over in Game 1. We see a much more competitive game here in Game 2. We will be in Washington for Games 3 and 4. I anticipate scrappiness to the very end.
Thank you so much.
Great to be with you, Holly.
Thank you.
Well, no doubt Lisa Borders has done an outstanding job steering the ship of the WNBA in an exciting year. So much growth. These playoffs have been just terrific. It's amazing how many people from different teams have come up to us talking about how much joy they've gotten out of watching other teams' games throughout these playoffs.
Playoffs have been a great indication how the regular season was so competitive, especially teams 1 through 11. Indiana being the team that's still in the rebuild with everybody else. Chance to make these playoffs into the last couple of weeks.
Tolliver called for her second personal. She and Bird got scraped up. They're very good friends. Bird trying to get to the deflected ball, and it lasted Washington. 7 to shoot now for Seattle. Howard goes behind the back, squeezes it to Bird. Off on a 3. Clark looking to flag it down. It's knocked out of bounds by Clark. Washington ball. Neither team shooting it well from 3 in this game. Seattle now 4 of 15. That's under 27%. Washington 0 for 10. Obviously, that's 0%.
The Washington team that averages 8.5 makes from 3 on the season.
Deladon run off by Howard. Here is Tolliver. Into Atkins. The fadeaway got the whistle, and Ariel Atkins will shoot a pair. They will have Game 3 of the best-of-5 WNBA Finals between the Storm and the Mystics Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on ESPN2. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app. Are we going to, walk the monuments as a team in D.C.?
I think we'll walk the ground around the monuments, sure.
Oh, that's true. It would take some special climbing shoes to get all the way up there.
You can wear your Spider-Man outfit.
That's right. Only break that out occasionally. Atkins hits both. It's a 1-point game. Stewart gets locked up, and a whistle and a foul against Ariel Atkins. And that will be her 3rd. Stewart to the line. She has not scored since the first quarter. Until now. It has been a very productive playoffs for the MVP, Breanna Stewart. Very consistent playoffs as well. As she hits both.
What were the reasons Sue Bird gave for Seattle winning the semifinal series? What were reasons 1, 2, and 4?
Stewie.
Yeah.
Outstanding listener comprehension on your part, Rebecca. Ruffin Pratt able to flip it in. She has been a big boost off the bench for Washington.
Veteran presence. She's come in and done a really nice job on both ends of the floor. Wow, look at Stewie and Sanders battle in the post.
Bird open. Off on a 3, follows it up, tried to squeeze it into Howard. Sanders gets it, and Howard will be called for the foul.
In game one, Seattle was getting to all of the 50-50 balls. That hasn't been the case here in game two. Washington with a much better job with their activity and intensity on both ends.
And what's impressive about that hustle from Latoya Sanders, she is dealing with severe anemia. She actually had to have an infusion here at a hospital in Washington on Thursday. Anemia causes fatigue. You lack oxygen in your blood. And for her to be out here playing like this after what she's battling physically, that was some impressive hustle.
And she's an important part of their team, no doubt. Stewart had it stripped by Sanders. Washington back in front by one in what's developing as a quality game two. Wide open. Ruffin Pratt tees it up. Can't hit. Rebound. Bird fights for it and wins the battle. Now looking to push. Stewart jockeying with Ruffin Pratt. Stewart goes to the reverse and finally gets the whistle. And now Breanna Stewart, frustrated, wanted that whistle earlier.
Well, it's because that's the second possession in a row where it's been physical inside, and that's what you have to do with Breanna Stewart when she's posting up. You've got to battle, and Washington has consistently done that. Here, she kind of locks arms with Ruffin Pratt. There's definitely a lot of bodying.
Rebecca, does increased physicality play into the hands of Washington?
Allowing that for the game to be more physical, I think it does. Yeah, this is a free-flowing Seattle team that likes to move and cut and have open lanes to the basket. So the more Washington can be physical, the better.
Clark the offensive rebound and a reset here for Seattle and a game tied at 48. Bird gives it up. Lloyd can't bank it in. Don't know if those were the intentions, but Lloyd has shot it better here in this third quarter after a quiet first half. Shot clock at 6. Atkins finds Sanders on the baseline, connecting on the jumper.
Sanders had struggled with her shot a bit in the last few games, and finally a Washington player able to take that kick and finish it.
Bird guarded by Tolliver. Bird trying to cut through the D, threw it a little behind Stewart, still able to grab. Stewart got smushed, then denied by Washington. And now Bird will take a foul in transition. And she'll be called for her third personal. Hey, WNBA stars Breanna Stewart and Elena Deladon are featured in the next installment of Kobe Bryant's Detail, available now exclusively on ESPN+. The five-time NBA champion, Kobe Bryant, will break down Game 1 of the 2018 WNBA Finals from the standpoint of 2018 WNBA MVP Breanna Stewart and 2015 MVP Deladon. Details the high-level basketball and analysis and film study show from ESPN and Bryant's Granity Studios.
Kobe brings his daughters to a lot of LA Sparks games.
Deladon short on a three. And it
Once it hits the top of the backboard, it's out of bounds. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over it. In stereo, we're harmonizing as well.
That's right. That's what the people wanted, right? Us in sync. 2-point game. It's been played very tightly here in the third. Lloyd raises up and cans the jumper. 8 points in the third quarter for the All-Star Jewel Lloyd. Atkins, rookie on rookie, swerves into a whistle. Ariel Atkins will shoot a pair.
The defender gets over the screen. Ruffin Pratt gets over, but gets caught up just a little bit. And the way Jewel Lloyd is shooting in this third quarter, you can't give her that space or she's going to drain it.
Well, you just talked about Kobe Bryant and that show Details. How would it be to have Kobe as one of your mentors? That's what Jewel Lloyd has. And she said, you know, after that game 1 where she was pretty poor, she was able to go back to some of her mentors, and the words of Kobe are what drove her to improve. Game 1 was good as she got back to being herself. Basketball is really simple. And she just got back to being who she is, rising up, being an athlete, getting into space. And, you know, when Kobe Bryant helps you get better, I think that's a win for everybody.
Yeah, that's a nice rabbi to go to after a tough Game 5. Kobe Bryant has continued to be there for Jewel Lloyd. Lloyd banks it in. She is in her bag right now, as she told Regina Robinson the other day. Sanders' jumper is good, and now these teams exchanging blows in the third. 5 lead changes, 6 ties in this game. The rookie Canada finds Stewart, nice ball fake, sets up her jumper. All. Atkins gets the step, whips the pass to Tolliver. Washington has not hit a 3 yet in this game. Sanders got hit from behind by Langhorne, and Latoya Sanders will shoot 2.
She's come alive here in the third quarter. Did not play a lot of minutes in that first half, and Mike Tebow had sent a sub to the table for her, Maisha Hines-Allen, and after Sanders hit that baseline jumper, he pulled Hines-Allen back, and it's been the right decision. Sanders continues to play well.
Sanders hits the free throw. Tebow and the Washington Mystics had a meeting just before the start of the second half of this season where everybody sort of aired each other out, and they made a collective commitment to defense. And their defensive numbers improved dramatically the second half of the season. So did their record, and eventually earned them the 3rd seed. They were 9th in the league in defensive efficiency before the All-Star break, 3rd after, as Lloyd was stripped.
That meeting came after they were beat down by the Connecticut Sun, and then after the All-Star break, they won their next 8 games.
Della Don muscles it up and in, plus the foul.
We've talked about it all game. Elena Della Don, when she is feeling more healthy, is more comfortable doing that, putting the ball on the floor, getting inside, and she's so much bigger than most of the defenders and has such great upper body strength, can finish even with contact.
Langhorne with her 2nd personal. Della Don now with 16 points. Washington has its largest lead of the series. It's 5. Canada pulls up and doesn't get the roll. Rebound Tolliver. An opportunity for Washington to push the lead even further before the end of the third. Good hands there from Canada on the steal. Just the 2nd turnover of the game for the Mystics as Canada goes coast to coast. Canada also executed the 2-for-1 with that drive. Draws the whistle on Whitcomb.
Jordan Canada is fast. Need we say more? I mean, when she puts on the Jets last year, one of the fastest players in college at UCLA, and gets out in front of everyone and finishes.
Jordan Canada, just one of 2 players in Pac-12 history with 18,000 points, 700 assists. The other, Gary Payton. Pretty strong company.
Good company when you're in Seattle as well.
That's right. Langhorne checks out. Atkins hits them both. 5-point lead. Seattle can hold for 1 here. 12 seconds to go in the third. Canada finds Howard wide open. And it'll stay down here as Seattle went early. And Howard was blocked inside.
Yeah, great job by Elena Della Don to get back inside and prevent that shot.
Canada with 3 seconds left. Whitcomb was open on the wing. Howard lays it in off the miss from Canada. And that, the clock started before Tolliver touched the basketball, so they are going to have to put 0.6 of a second back on the clock as the clock began to wind before Tolliver touched it. For the third. It's a three-point game as we head to
her shots up. Seattle will need more of that from Jewel Lloyd here in quarter number 4.
The Mystics are going to even up these best-of-5 finals at a game apiece. Lloyd, connects. There's some more of that. Most of this crowd on its feet at Key Arena. 1-point game. Deladon looking to shed Howard. Deladon can't bank it in. Rebound deflected over to Canada. Canada got tricky. Lloyd off on a 3. And the rebound hauled in by Washington. Tolliver lost it. Stewart did too. Howard didn't. Here comes Howard off on the layup. Howard trying to get back to it, and underneath, Ruffin Pratt able to corral it for Washington. There's a hot potato there for a moment. Tolliver can't hit the 3. Lloyd able to fingertip the rebound. Things a little frantic. Stewart a 3. Is good! Seattle back in front. For the MVP. Ruffin Pratt unable to hit. Rebound Stewart, her 7th. Lloyd lost it. More good D from Ruffin Pratt.
Yeah, she really has been tough in there today.
Aerial Powers provided a nice jolt in the first half. Had it taken by Stewart. The flick ahead, Whitcomb lays it in. Timeout, Washington.
Two turnovers in the first 3 quarters for Washington and 2 already here in the 4th.
And that has helped spring this 7-0 run for Seattle. Trying to take a 2-0 lead in these best-of-5 finals. Excellent denial from Alicia Clark, and it's out of bounds off of who? Right in front of us, it looked like it may have lasted Tolliver, but they'll call it Washington ball. Let's see. Close. Out of bounds on Clark. 8 to shoot. Ruffin Pratt muscles into her jumper.
She has been a steady veteran presence off of the bench for Washington, a player who started for much of her career.
Stewart and Deladon tangling. Canada into Howard. Clark run off the 3-point line and had her pass kicked. Seattle also getting some much-needed rest for Sue Bird. We saw that in Game 5, where Bird sat for the early minutes of the 4th quarter and struggled shooting as she has so far tonight, and then came in, found the stroke, and guided them to victory. It'll stay with Seattle. 7 ties, 6 lead changes in this game. And here comes Sue Bird checking in for the Storm.
Canada has played well, so she stays on the floor. You have a 2-point guard lineup right now for Seattle.
Stewart had it poked away. Bird trying to flag it down and does. 2 to shoot. Bird heaves it and banks it in! Will that be the signature shot of Game 2? Tolliver, no. Out of bounds to Seattle.
Sue Bird. Really? After the heroics in Game 5 to hit that banker?
With the shot clock fading. Bird seeking her third championship. Stewart to Canada. 5 to shoot. Bird wants it. Bird finds the cutter. Howard couldn't finish. Good D from Sanders. Lloyd getting ready to check back in for Seattle. Deladon is 17 in the game. Double. Finds the rookie Atkins. Her long jumper is off. Bird flings it down court. Howard and Canada were both there and kind of got mixed up as to who it was for. A 10-2 start to the fourth for Seattle. And Sue Bird adding a little pizzazz to it. Sometimes you got to use the bank when you're looking to beat the clock.
Hope all of the locals in Washington, after they walk the monuments, will find their way to George Mason for Game 3.
Tolliver gives it up. Deladon trying to work Howard. Good D from Howard, who comes up with a steal, but then Deladon pokes it away, and Sanders wins it for Washington. Good recovery from Deladon at a key moment for the Mystics. And a foul away from the ball against Lloyd. That'll be the first team foul this fourth quarter against Seattle. Washington turned it over just 2 times the first 3 quarters combined. They've turned it over 3 times so far in the fourth.
Here we go again in the half court now. So we get wild.
And they've seen a 3-point lead after 3 turn into a 5-point deficit. Washington 0 for 14 from 3 as a team. Atkins sticks the landing. 13 points from the rookie Atkins. Lloyd is 12 in the second half. And a whistle away from the ball will be called against Seattle.
Seen a lot of big little screens, and Sue Bird leans into Elena Deladon and gets called for it, but repeatedly throughout the course of this game, it's been effective for Seattle to have Sue setting screens on Breanna Stewart.
4th personal on Sue Bird. She is the only player with 4 right now in the game, or on the bench. Tolliver throws it away, and that's the 4th turnover of the quarter for Washington.
Those are the turnovers we saw in Game 1.
Don't go straight away.
3-point game. Stewart, the deep catch, and the hook. 21 for Breanna Stewart.
Once again, off a Sue Bird baseline screen.
Tolliver being hounded by Howard on the switch.
What a luxury to have a big who can defend on the perimeter like we saw from Howard.
Atkins hits the jumper. A long 2 for Ariel Atkins. So poised in these big moments.
Same play.
Game.
Same play again. Sue Bird screen to get Stewie into the post.
Seven to shoot. Bird finds Howard cutting to the rim, and she just blew the bunny. Tolliver, a 3 to tie, way off. Howard trying to collect, could not. Sanders puts it in. It's a 1-point game. Timeout, Seattle. It's a 1-point contest. Howard, Bird, Clark, Stewart, and Lloyd, the starting 5 on the floor for Seattle. It's Tiara Ruffin-Pratt, Ariel Atkins, Sanders, Deladon, and Tolliver for Washington. Stewart wants it. Instead, it's Lloyd. 10 to shoot. Lloyd gives it up. Stewart, the handoff. Bird lost it. Able to scoot it over to Lloyd with 3 to shoot. Lloyd hoists. In and out. Good box out from Ruffin Pratt.
And Elena Deladon, the last few possessions, when Seattle's tried to get Brianna Stewart a post-op, has played stellar defense, Ryan.
Ruffin Pratt working inside, tried to squeeze it in, could not, and it's out of bounds off of Washington.
Tierra Ruffin Pratt, a big strong guard, and trying to overpower. Fortunate for Natasha Howard that she didn't get a foul called on that play.
And then a little game of pinball afterwards. Bird will take. Can't hit the 3. Clark had her hands on it. Howard wins it. Stewart on the move. Got tripped up and fouled. And 2 free throws coming for Brianna Stewart.
Brianna Stewart can get by Elena Deladon trying to recover, trips her up a bit. The right decision by Stewart. Sees Elena Deladon, who's still a little bit hobbled, closing out and goes by.
Shop WNBAstore.com now to represent the Seattle Storm and the Washington Mystics during the WNBA Finals. Choose from jerseys, t-shirts, accessories, and more. WNBAstore.com, one store, every team.
Fire gear and fanny packs.
Which is something that Holly Rowe always rocks.
Well, but what is Washington rocking right now? And that is some really good defense. After the All-Star game, they had what Elena Deladon described as a brutal meeting. No one was smiling. The truth had to be told. And that truth was better ball pressure, better gang rebounding, better help side defense. We are seeing some of that here down the stretch. If they're going to win, it's going to be their defense that takes them there.
No question, Holly. That's why they're hanging around. Ruffin Pratt can't hit the jumper. Howard another rebound. That's number 13 for Natasha Howard. Seattle the 3-point lead. Lloyd switched on Sanders. Stewart being yanked in the post by Ruffin Pratt. Now they get into it and exchange glares. And that'll be the first foul in the last 2 minutes against Washington.
I really like what Ruffin Pratt has brought to this team, though. Last year we asked Mike Thibault about the personality of the team. He said, we need a little more dog in us. He said, but the player who has it is Tierra Ruffin Pratt. And what he means by that is the fight and determination, especially late in games. That's a foul.
Battling hard with Brianna Stewart. Ruffin Pratt undrafted. Now finds herself a key piece in the WNBA Finals. Bird gives it up. Lloyd unable to hit. Another chance for Washington. Under 90 seconds to go. It's a 3-point Seattle lead in game 2. Mystics 0 for 15 from 3 in this game. You get the feeling that might have to change for them to win it. Tolliver wiggling into a jumper and hitting. It's a 1-point game. Timeout, Seattle.
Christy Tolliver loves this. She loves the fade, sees the big honor, so she needs the fade. Coming off the left foot. That's one of her favorite moves, and she gets the space over the bigger Howard. Big shot. Sees it.
Stewart inbounds to Lloyd. She is guarded by Ruffin Pratt. It's Tolliver, the veteran, who's on Sue Bird. Bird comes to get it. Tolliver looking for the steal. Final minute of the 4th quarter. Bird a little trouble with the handle. Stewart gets to it. Stewart can't finish, but gets the whistle. And Brianna Stewart has 2 free throws coming.
The physical play and the way Brianna Stewart has been able to handle it and continue to work. Sanders is just bodying her hard, and great job for Stewart to still gather the pass and attack the rim.
Stewart is 8 of 10 from the line in this game. Got that one. Stewart over 88% from the stripe in these playoffs.
Dear Sanders, you got to box out Alicia Clark.
Second free throw is good. Timeout. Seattle a 3-point lead. 53.6 seconds to go. Deladon has to get it in. Finally does to Tolliver. Out on its feet. Tolliver gets the switch on Howard. Clark gets back to her. Tolliver being worked by Clark. 8 to shoot. Tolliver off one leg, connects. It's a 1-point game again. Washington can play this straight up. An 11-second difference game in shot clock. Lloyd gets the switch on Sanders. And a whistle away from the ball against Washington. And it means free throws for Seattle as the Mystics are over the limit.
You mentioned it, Ryan. Christy Tolliver has made big shots in her career. Alicia Clark, a terrific defender. You can't do much more than that. But again, the fade off the leg. 2 for Tolliver.
Stewart has the last 6 for Seattle. She's 10 of 12 from the line today, 25 points. 2 big free throws here. This is the first.
Christy Tolliver grew up in a basketball family. Her dad, George, would make her watch Michael Jordan tape. She had to do a 4th grade paper about Reggie Miller. She has said, I want to be the player in those moments, and we saw it just there.
Stewart missed them both. Rebounds Hawkins, but a foul underneath or no? No. Controlled by Washington.
5-second violation trying to inbound the basketball. That's priority number 1. And then it's about getting the ball into the hands of your playmaker right now. Christy Tolliver is a good option. Elena Deladon always.
Ariel, you're going. If you're wide open, got it for a layup. All right. Hannah's coming here. Now out of that action, we got everybody rotate.
And Deladon on the floor. Mystics out of timeouts. Seattle does have a foul to give. 16.4 seconds remaining. Seattle the 1-point lead. Into Hawkins, looking for Tolliver. Gets it to her. Tolliver lost it. Loose on the ground. Who's going to get it? It's Seattle. And do they call a jump ball? They do. Howard was trying for a timeout. Instead, it will be a jump.
Christy Tolliver trying to create, loses the handle on it. Sue Bird moving with her the whole time, flicks it away. Game 1 of the of the semifinal series. Jump ball was big. Watch Alicia Clark here.
Howard and Hawkins to jump. 8.8 to go. Lloyd controls it for Seattle. Washington has to foul. They have not fouled yet. Clark finally is fouled with 1.8 seconds remaining.
Jump balls are important in these situations. Great job to secure the possession, then move the ball by Sue Bird so they couldn't get fouled right away.
Clark misses the first. And now at this point, do you think about missing the second on purpose?
Just to get the clock moving, knowing Washington has no timeouts.
And it doesn't matter, they're gonna have to shoot a 3, you'd think. Clark instead hits the second. Washington will inbound with 1.8 to go. Atkins heaves. That's it. The Seattle Storm are a win away from a WNBA championship. A gritty Game 2 victory. 75-73 the final. It was not pretty down the stretch with the Seattle Storm getting key stop on Christy Tolliver late, and they were able to hold on for a 2-point win.
Brandon Stewart misses